Most coaches think scaling to 100K a month literally purely relies on running paid traffic, burning cash, and having a very inefficient business model. The reason I see this happening over and over again, as I see a lot of people who are trying to teach scaling yet have never scaled. They're business coaches who don't make money, or fitness coaches who have failed, who then go into business coaching to try and teach the thing. My name's Charlie Johnson. I've scaled 2 businesses to over 7 figures in less than 12 months. We worked with over 17,000 clients in our own fitness business. I've helped 1,200 trainers scale, and I've helped 23 trainers break 100K a month in the last 6 months alone. And in this video, I'm gonna break down the golden nuggets of what you need to do to break 6-figure months as quickly as possible, but most importantly, in an efficient manner without burning cash. Now, one of the most important things you have to understand is it is much easier to scale your business to higher revenues, charging higher price points. So one of the quickest things we actually look at with clients is increasing the price, increasing the length. And the thirdly is having a financing system. Do you have a financing system? It will make you so much more money. I cannot explain to you, because it allows you to decrease the amount of time you're waiting to collect cash that is contracted out. It's like putting your business on like warp speed. It's like the nitrous button in like Fast and Furious. And if you don't know how to do that and you haven't got the right system for that, we actually have a system that's sick, which now even works in Dubai. If you want access to that, I can introduce anyone who wants, and just message me financing on Instagram and I'll connect you with them, and it absolutely slays. Now, the reason why I say that the importance for you to scale to 100K a month without burning cash is being focused on getting the pricing right, because you're basically looking at unit economics. There's 2 numbers you need to scale. On one side, you've got LTV, lifetime value. So much like how much one person pays you. On the other side, we have CAC, which is your cost to acquire a customer. How much does it cost to bring someone in versus how much does it cost that person, what do they pay me? And the difference and the arbitrage is the profit you have. So if we can increase the LTV and bring the CAC down, you will make more money. The problem for you is there's only a certain point, now how sick you are at marketing, you can reduce your cost to acquire a customer. Like there is a certain amount it's going to cost you. You can keep increasing LTV and charge higher prices. I'll give an example. We have a client who sells a $25,000 fitness coaching program on LinkedIn. The reality is all they really do is they add Whoop bands into their programs. Like that's kind of as complex as it is, but they just target people who have money. And then guess what happens? You don't tend to get financial objections. You can charge more and the business is kind of more profitable. So before you scale, you need to fix the pricing and the unit economics and the pricing difference between LTV and CAC. The second thing is to actually make sure you have your business set up correctly in terms of the margins for fulfillment. So one of the most awful pieces of advice I see given by so many business coaches to young trainers is on how to pay coaches. Now, the reality is this is setting you up for a business you can't scale because you don't have the profit margin to do so. What you want to be looking at as a general is a 20% fulfillment cost to coaches as a general rule of thumb. Obviously, if someone's spending a 25 grand on a coaching program, you're not going to give a coach 20% of that, but that's kind of like the max you want to be looking at. Why? Because it gives you 80% to go into profit, ads, scaling the business, tax if you're unfortunate enough to live in the UK, because you'll get extorted by the British government for that one. So we need to make sure we have that kind of distance there. Number 2 is you want to actually create attention that you can bring into your business consistently when you're looking to get to 100K a month. Now, one of the reasons we've done this so consistently with coaches over and over and over again is we don't have a hope for a viral reel technique and you have one good business and then your business has a terrible next month. That's actually probably the most depressing thing that can happen to any online coach or business owner. You have one good month and then the rest of them are kind of terrible. And I see this a lot with coaches who I used to be in a similar space to when I was crushing in fitness. In 2020, they used to do well on social media because they used a certain type of content, certain type of marketing. That stopped working. And then guess what happened? Their business stopped working. Because in business, you either innovate or you die. Now, the easiest way to stay ahead of the curve is, yes, you need to obviously do great organic content, but you also have to learn paid ads. Now, when you learn paid ads, this gives you the ability to turn the tap on. Apologies. Gives you the ability to turn the tap on so you can book as many calls as you want. So in our business, I can essentially buy sales calls. Our goal is I want to spend about £200 to £250 per qualified call booked. So if I want to get 25 calls a day, I want to spend about £2,500 a day on Facebook ads, and that will bring those calls into my business. Now, when you know the unit economics and you have the right pricing model, this becomes very, very systematized, and we use very advanced tracking essentially to do this. Why this works, and with the Andromeda updates that came in recently on Meta and Facebook ads, you also have to create a lot of creative for Facebook ads. You also have to know what creative works, what style of creative, and that's where there's massive nuances. And this is how we help coaches move so fast, is because we know exactly what creative works, why, and when they should implement it. The reason your ads don't work is not because Facebook and Meta ads don't work, like Facebook is $1 trillion company, is ultimately you just don't know how to get them to work. And the moment you're the cost of the unknown unknowns for you, I'll repeat it again, the cost of the unknown unknowns, what you don't know even know exists, is astronomical. And what you need to do is fix that, and that will allow you to scale your business very, very quickly. Now, if we come into point 3 of this, is once you've got paid ads working, you kind of got proof of concept. Proof of concept is the first thing we really look for. So like, what does proof of concept mean? If we're coming into scaling on paid ads and scaling your business aggressively, I want to look, okay, if I run this campaign, am I getting good calls coming through? Cool, that's the first proof of concept. Am I getting sales coming through? Can I sell these people? Yes. As soon as you get a couple of green lights, you get 3 green lights, okay, good lead, good call, close, boom. Then you're rocking and rolling, right? So that's essentially kind of what we want to be looking for. Now, what you then want to be doing is you want to be systematizing this to scale. Now, to do this actually ends up becoming very heavy in terms of you developing as a coach, and this is one of the things we help people with specifically. And it's not a coach in terms of getting client results, but this is you coaching your team. So you have to become a better leader, and you have to go from being a promoter to an operator. So eventually, if you're doing over 100K a month, you probably don't want to be doing all the sales calls yourself. You probably also don't want to be confirming all the calls. You don't want to be all the DM setting. So you have to be able to build this system, which is actually easier than ever with AI, to be able to get this to kind of rocket up. And then with this, if you come into point number 4, is you want to build a team that's thinking on ROI, not emotion. So one of the best things we do whenever we bring salespeople into our business is we will look to, and any business, we get them to complete an Ocean profile personality test. Because there's certain things I want to look for that are kind of red flags of like, okay, I probably don't want that type of person in this role, or I'm going to be cautious. One of those would be if people have low levels of emotional stability, because sales is always going to be up and down. So you don't want salespeople up and down, because then what happens? Their sales performance is up and down. So being very, very clear in terms of essentially what that looks like, and understanding that with sales and as the business scales, you as the entrepreneur want to be spending 80-90% of your time on marketing and sales. I had an amazing client of ours, Chris Mooton, who we've taken this business from $5,000 a month to $50,000 a month, who was with me yesterday in my house. He paid $10,000 for a one-to-one coaching day with me. And one of the things that he said to me was incredibly interesting was that he finds it very difficult in terms of with his team and his business, in terms of managing them and managing their emotions. And the biggest thing he actually needs to work on for him to get to the next level, well, one of them is going to be becoming a better leader and how to essentially dictate the ship and the direction everything is going. The reason a lot of coaches get stuck at maybe 50K or even 100K and they can't go from 100 to 200 is there's this different skill set at different levels. And that's where the saying like new levels, new devils is very true, because a lot of this is a mental skill set to some degree, because you have to be able to see the wood through the trees. Now, a lot of this I can do from experience because I've seen so many coaching businesses, and I was fortunate that I came from a background where I worked in a corporate business for 7 years that had like 1,000 employees. So I knew how that type of infrastructure works and how you can apply this in terms of to smaller businesses. But when you can essentially get your business to work how you want it to and build pockets and team leaders underneath you, each department almost becomes its own profit center. And that's essentially what you want to be doing if you want to get time freedom, location freedom, and financial freedom. And you can hustle to 100K a month, but you can't do it consistently and you can't do it on your own. And if you want to actually get the things you want back out of this from life and get the dream lifestyle with it as well, the proverbial laptop lifestyle, then yes, you want to build the team and the ecosystem to support that, which ultimately comes down to putting the right people in the right place for the right process, which is one of the big things we teach. Point number 5 is understanding cash flow and the difference between that and vanity metrics. Businesses die because they run out of money. Now, the most important thing you need to do is you need to be the rainmaker. You need to know how to generate leads and to fucking sell people. Like, that is the most valuable thing you can do as the CEO and the owner of your business or the front of the business. How can I create offers? How can I get more traffic? How can I sell these people? Like, you want to spend 80 to 90% of your time doing that, and that's how you build a business that scales, and then you don't ultimately build a job. But if you can also build a back end like we have with 7-figure scaling systems, which is like 10 out of 10 rock star level, but also doesn't require me to push every single button, then guess what? You've got a machine that you compounds for you because of client results from referrals, and then you can also just put all your effort into the front end in terms of making the merry-go-round essentially kind of go faster and faster. Now, why I say cash flow management is important, one of the main jobs of a CEO is to manage the cash flow. And if you're looking to scale, for example, on paid ads, you have to watch the metrics very carefully. And this is also where one of the biggest mistakes people make is they outsource and they delegate things like paid advertising. What we really do with coaches who we work with, who we help scale from 20K a month, 30K a month, to 50 to 100K plus to 200K a month. Like Dom Wenner was a client of ours who just went from 15K to £200,000 a month in 12 to 18 months. What we help them do is to learn how Facebook ads work, how these systems work, how to manage them, how to manage the systems. And once you know this is a superpower and a skill set that's going to pay you for the rest of your life. The most valuable thing you can invest in is yourself to get skills. And once you've got that, you then build a machine that then create financial freedom for you. So if I were to summarize this, the most important thing to flash back over this again would be, number one, is get your unit economics right. So make sure you're selling at decent prices, you've got decent margins. Making sure you're attracting the right attention and traffic in. You want to making sure that you're actually systematizing everything so you can kind of scale it up, build a team that focuses on ROI, not emotion, and then focus on cash flow over vanity metrics. If you start to think this way, your business will start to reflect the way you think. You'll make more money, you'll probably have to work less, and guess what? You'll probably enjoy the process more. And if you want help in terms of exactly how to do this and how you could potentially be 24th coach to hit $100,000 a month in the last 6 months, hit the link below this video. You can find out exactly how we can help you. And if you check out the next episode on the screen now, it's come up suggested from YouTube. I'm sure that'll have some value for you. And if you have any questions, drop in the comments, I'll personally reply.